With approximately 4 million refugees and asylum seekers in the IGAD region, IGAD member states provide asylum to 1 out of every 5 refugees in the world. In Africa, IGAD countries account for 7 out of 10 refugees and is home to 2 of the largest refugee hosting countries in the world, Uganda and Sudan. At the same time, IGAD also has the 2 largest refugee origin countries, South Sudan and Somalia. And yet, in spite of this grave situation, IGAD member states have a great cost to themselves continuing to maintain an open-door policy. In March 2017, IGAD heads of states adopted the NAIROBI Declaration and Plan of Action on Durable Solutions for Somali Refugees and Reintegration of Returnees in Somalia. This declaration has since been extended beyond Somalia to cater to all refugee situations in the IGAD region. IGAD member states conceived the Nairobi Declaration as a regional implementation mechanism of the 2016 New York Declaration for Refugees and Migrants and the follow-up actions proposed within the Global Compact on Refugees. Through this declaration, member states made 5 major commitments to create conditions conducive for return, maintain asylum and protection space in host countries within the IGAD region, promote the socio-economic inclusion of refugees and host communities, pursue regional cooperation through a whole-of-society approach to refugee response, and work in solidarity with the international community to increase responsibility sharing for refugees, returnees, and host communities. Our member states, with the assistance of IGAD's Health and Social Development Division, have adopted 2 thematic declarations on the Nairobi process. First is the 2017 Djibouti Declaration on Quality Education for Refugees, Returnees, and Host Communities, which has seen member states developing costed national education response plans that factor in the inclusion of refugees. This is in partial fulfillment of IGAD member state commitments for the full integration of refugees in national education systems by 2020. Second is the 2019 Kampala Declaration on Jobs, Livelihoods, and Self-Reliance for Refugees, Returnees, and Host Communities, which aims to ensure that refugees and host communities get the support that they need to lead productive lives. To guarantee access to these benefits, IGAD is formulating a protocol on free movement of persons that accords refugees in the IGAD region the comparable socioeconomic rights as citizens in host countries. Through this protocol, IGAD member states shall enhance the protection regime for refugees beyond the obligations contained in the 1951 Convention. Once ratified, the protocol grants rights of residence and establishments that will make it possible for refugees with the appropriate documentation to move freely outside camps and secure gainful employment and engage in trade. Alongside the policy products in education and livelihoods, IGAD is implementing health and development interventions. On one hand, the Refugee, Tuberculosis and HIV program financed by the Global Fund is currently engaged in 52 refugee camps and settlements and is responsible for a 30% increase in the levels of diagnosis and treatment in the last 3 years. It has also raised the annual rate of HIV testing by 161% and delivered a 3-fold upsurge in the rates of detection, notification, and treatment for tuberculosis alone. The upcoming thematic meeting on health for refugees expands engagement into other healthcare needs beyond TB and HIV. On the other hand, the Development Responses to Displacements Impacts project forges a unique financing and partnership approach between the World Bank and member states that delivers government and community-led development programming in displacement-affected communities. To support this momentum, we have established and launched the IGAD support platform for the Nairobi process. This platform will institutionalize and accelerate efforts we have made so far to create an enabling environment and marshal political will for the inclusion of refugees, returnees, and host communities in national developing planning. The support platform will also strengthen IGAD's policy coordination function, assist in implementation monitoring, intensify regional learning, and build partnerships for resource mobilization in order to support member states in the fulfillment of commitments made within the Global Compact on Refugees.